All right, guys, let's talk about the rookie running backs. So I think the most coveted of all going into any dynasty draft, any redraft, is going to be Najee Harris, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Time and time again, Mike Tomlin just got re-up there for another 3 years. And like I just was about to say, they are one of the few teams in the NFL that still have that workhorse solidified role. They tried it out with James Conner the last 2 years. That experience ended sour for most. However, he did finish as the running back 6 one of those years. I believe it was 2018. So he had some relevance, but 2019 plagued by injury, and then 2020 was just horrendous for everybody. But going in with Najee Harris in 2021, an aging Ben Roethlisberger. I'm curious as to what you guys think. And before I hand it off to you guys, we're going to do the same thing we did last week with our rookie QBs. At the end of the podcast, we're going to rank these running backs, both for redraft purposes and their dynasty outlook long term. So we're going to be doing 2 separate rankings. So be prepared for that. But again, back to Najee Harris. What do you guys think? Right now, in the recent mock drafts, he's currently going like late second, or I should say early second round to mid second round. Are you guys willing to spend a first round pick on a rookie running back? I mean, this class doesn't seem as exciting as last year's class was. What do you think, Justin?
I'm not reaching first round in a redraft at all for this guy. I want him on my team, but there's way better options that I'm playing to win. He's nice to have the rookie hype, but late second is my highest consideration, to be honest.
Go ahead, Damon.
I think he'll be a great pick towards the 10th, especially if you have like a 12-man league. Because if you look at the top 10 running backs last year, Henry, Cook, Taylor, Jones, Robinson, Montgomery, Chubb, Jacobs, and then once you get down to like Gordon, you take him over Gordon, wouldn't you? Take him over Ron. I mean.
Yeah, no.
Sanders,
I would
take him over Sanders.
Yeah, no.
Just because
Joe wouldn't take him over Sanders.
Just because of there's no competition. Benny Snell's not going to take anything away.
Yeah, we saw last year that those. I mean, obviously that's why they went out and spent the draft capital on Najee Harris. James Conner's not there anymore. Obviously, these are some of the guys that are currently in or around his draft position. So I'll hand it off to you first, Justin. Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Najee Harris?
Strictly based off the situation, I would rather have Najee. I don't want any part of Edwards-Helaire, to be honest. No offense to him, but that team just doesn't need him.
Yeah, in that particular situation, I would go Najee Harris just strictly based off the volume that he has the potential to see, like upwards of 250 carries, some crazy amount, and really no one even kind of entertaining the passing down work, so he might even get a few catches. With Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you're really just banking off of what games will he explode and what games will he just be a complete disappearing act. But these ones get interesting after that. Austin Eckler or Najee Harris?
It has to be Eckler.
I would take Eckler, especially in full PPR.
If I'm playing PPR, no doubt. If I'm playing Dynasty, I go Harris. If I'm playing Redraft, I'll go Eckler to win.
Fair enough. Joe's favorite player. I don't know. He's not here.
He should be good this year, man. He didn't get a lot of run.
Miles Sanders or Najee Harris?
No, Harris, easy.
I would take Harris. Look, guys, I get it. Go ahead, Justin. What are you going to say?
I want to lean Miles because he's proven to be decent PPR, but I feel that with Hurts there, he might steal some goal line scores for him, to be honest.
That's a fair assumption. I mean, with Miles Sanders, Joe and I have talked so much, and I wish he was here today, and he's not. And, everyone thought the Kerryon Johnson signing by the Philadelphia Eagles, thank God, to carry on. Everyone thought that was kind of just like a brush off. But come to find out, if you dig deeper, Miami had a claim on him. There were 2 other teams out there that had claims on him to pick him up. And Philadelphia just had the soonest one. So they were able to snag him up. I think he has a role carved out. What it is, I don't know. Do I think it's fantasy relevant? Not at all. But drafting Kenneth Gainwell, picking up Kerryon Johnson, I think Jordan Howard is the least likely to find himself on the roster day one. But, I mean, I don't know. All things there just point to saying, Miles Sanders, you're not getting any passing down work, and you're getting Josh Jacobs in the backfield, which if you're not getting passing down work in a PPR, full PPR league, I don't want any part of you. And I think even Harris has a chance to get that.
You're saying Miles Sanders isn't getting PPR work?
I don't know, man. He caught 30 less passes last year than he did the year before that. And they added Kerryon Johnson. And they added Kenneth Gainwell, which I get it. He's a 5th-round pick, but he's literally a backfield catching specialist.
I mean, I would say that Kerryon is strictly useless barring an injury. I don't consider him anything. Like Boston Scott is still going to eat into that initially.
And Boston Scott's there, yeah.
That's my only really worry. I mean, I guess he didn't receive as many, but he also played less games, so I would take that into consideration. I like him. I think he's draftable, but if you told me Harris ends higher than him at the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised at the same time.
Yeah, fair enough. Last one, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris. I'm going Joe Mixon all the way. I think he's got top 5 potential if he stays healthy for the first time in ages. What about you guys?
I'll take Harris just because I'm over Joe Mixon.
Oh, my gosh.
I also take Harris. Not only am I a Mixon hater, but it's also because they just have like a 3-headed dragon with the wide receiver core, and I don't think they're going to be looking for Mixon to do nearly what they asked for in the past couple of years.
He might not need to.
Yeah, he might not need to, but, I mean, all signs point – they didn't do anything in the draft. They got rid of Gio Bernard. I mean, it's either put up or shut up for Joe Mixon, so I feel like they're going to showcase him in some way or some form, and I think that leads to value. So hopefully. But, I mean, I think that's one of the closest ones that I do lean on, even though I am a Joe Mixon truther. I just think his time hasn't come yet, which we've been waiting for quite some time. But it may not come, but I'm still pretty high on him. With that being said, I don't know. Najee Harris, Pittsburgh, do you have any concerns about Ben Roethlisberger and his arm? I mean, last year he was unable to take shots downfield as often as he should have been. It's another year, same shoulder problems. In terms of dynasty, are you worried where this team goes next year? They didn't do anything in the draft to address the quarterback. They got good old Mason Rudolph back there ready to take the reins. Are you concerned that teams might stack the box against a guy like Najee Harris, knowing that they're going to be throwing the ball to Juju 9-10 times a game, like 5 yards downfield, and then just stack the box on Najee?
You're saying if Big Ben gets hurt?
No, I'm saying with him there. He hasn't proven that he can throw the ball downfield last year with his shoulder problems.
Oh, yeah. This
year, I mean, it's more of the same. It's not like he's got a healthy shoulder. He's like 38 years old now. He's just getting older. So
I think you said the complete opposite, because they only have proven wide receivers, so no one's going to be stacking the box against a running back when you got Juju, Claypool, Washington, and the other dude running. Yeah, they run shotgun all the time. The problem was that James Conner, couldn't stay healthy or do the work. So if Harris can just be there, I think that's an awesome fantasy asset to have, because no one's going to be worrying about him with the wide receivers. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, because you said if Najee's just there, and I think that's what we all think. He's just there. He landed in the perfect scenario. So he's going to get tons of volume. He's going to get tons of work. And yeah, I can see him being a top 12 fantasy running back, but long term is where I get a little scared of him. Anything else to talk about Najee Harris?
How is he on the PPR aspect? Is he a pass catcher? Because I don't know who's going to take that away from him, because the other two are no good.
Yeah,
Jalen Samuels is considered the PPR back there, or considered the pass catching back there, but I don't know. No one showed any promise over the last 2 years. So I think they're ready to just kind of hand the reins to Najee. But in PPR, yeah, I can see him getting a decent workload. I mean, even James Conner at times 2 years ago was getting 5 or 6, 7 passes a game. So 7 passes for 50, 60 yards. That's like 12 fantasy points right there.
Before we move on from him, one more that I think is close. Chris Carson or Najee?
Oof, that's a good one.
I think everyone forgets about Carson, but he's a beast.
Yeah, I'd probably go Najee Harris. I'd probably go Najee Harris, which is weird because it's like Joe Mixon and Carson are both injury prone, but Carson's really not injury prone. He's actually been really efficient when people talk about him. And you go back and you look and he's like, oh, wait, he really only missed like a few games. But with that being said, I think things are weird in Seattle. I feel weird about a lot of people over there, but that's a topic for a different day. I'd go Najee in that scenario. Jacob Bartley, head showrunner, just said Najee can catch. Yes, I know that. We saw the highlights. And I think he'll be a fine pass catcher. So for PPR purposes and redraft purposes and all that, I think Najee is a fine pickup. And Dynasty, he's surefire top 4 pick. Would you agree? I know, Justin, you got a top 4 pick in this year's Dynasty draft. Are you you itching to see if Najee drops to you at 4? Are you taking him?
I'm not. We all play together, so I'm not giving too much info. But I'll just say Najee is someone I want on my team. You know what I'm saying?